stuff that PlayStation and Xbox and honestly, Nintendo's already kind of made these moves, even though people really can't tell. I could tell that it's I kind of make my decisions with future purchases and video games and art of whether I like, whether it's gacha or it's a digital future or trading cards or anything like that. I don't know. Even if it's bad content lately, I'm kind of one of those people where, I'm kind of one of those people where I'm kind of just riding it out until it just gets ridiculous. I'm just gonna keep on having fun until I can't have fun anymore. I'll never really like give up video games, but I went to that knowing that video games are kind of fickle, that you might never get like you might have a really good franchise like Kingdom Hearts or something like that, and then your next franchise might not, it might die within 1 or 2 games, and the story might not finish, but the game's so fun, right? I see myself as a nerd first, I believe in being a nerd first, there's always going to be something that in my life that fascinates me, and as long as the world's here, I'm always going to, I refuse to be miserable completely. I know I sometimes act emo or I act crazy, but that's just my stance on it, and but I'll still fight on this a little bit, against the corpos and the powers that be, because fuck them from always trying to like take something great away from us, and they always keep it to themselves, and fuck them from always being political and dividing us, and it's about profit all the time, even when it's like a little bit, it's not even that much profit, and they still try to fuck us over. And especially fuck them for like taking advantage of people in the confusion to make money, because they always do stuff in a way that's confusing, and I should know because I work for a company, but it sucks when somebody's just not straight up with you, yeah. That's like, I'm going to try to make this long and short, like if I can make it longer, but I feel like the anger is really justified. Do I feel like you can have them run it back for now? For now, yeah. I think you can have them run it back if you want to. If we really try to. I do believe at some point it will be a fool's errand, because it's where they want to go, unless the whole industry or the world changes. And no video game crash, no video game crash, or no what's the word? No video game crash, no, reshuffling of assets, people losing their job, because it's what the investors want, and then the regular people who buy games just willy-nilly, especially for FIFA and GTA, and it's not FIFA, what is it called? Well, for soccer, I think it's FIFA for the soccer game. The NBA 2K games, and they just buy the games. They don't really give a fuck. We're enthusiasts, which is really important for their economy. I think they underestimate that. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of like people who will just buy one game for $100 or $150 and buy another like 2 or 3 for the year and be okay. And I think they're counting on those people to come in, the general audience to come through, But my stance is, in general, I think let me say it like this. I believe that I believe we're already been in this situation. We just didn't really realize it. There's a lot of illusion of choice. I feel like for Nintendo, there's only like 15 of the games that came out that first party or third party have been non-game key cards. You'll still need Nintendo systems to verify your cards and get it downloaded on this stuff. And then keep in mind, you still need the internet to download and verify certain games. The other day I had to update my Switch one time, and I found out you had to update Breath of the Wild because they wanted to make sure you didn't have those glitches anymore. You know, I gotta turn the music down a little bit, but you know, I feel like, I feel like, um, I feel like we're already in that era where you kind of like, you kind of have to have the internet, or like at some point your system has connected to the internet to activate. So I think the Switch has to be connected to the internet to activate. So you're gonna have to have internet one way or the other. You know, you can't just be in the middle of a battle zone with no internet or anything like that. Um, and you know, it's funny because people say Nintendo's the last bastion for it. Nintendo kind of started this with the game keycard stuff. Well, no, PlayStation already had discs thing, but you know, the $80 price points, Nintendo did that with Mario Kart World. They opened up the floodgates with that. We didn't like it, so no one did it, but they were the ones who started that, you know. And then also, you know, the game keycard thing made it very obvious to us that they're like, you know, selling us games through the just they're selling us like empty games, and it's for a reason, because it was not big enough to fit in the cart, but still. And then when it comes to PlayStation, and I kind of want to talk about PlayStation since they're the kind of topic of the they're the topic of the day. They're the one who's kind of fucking everything up. Keep in mind, before this, Nintendo shut down the Wii shop and the Nintendo DS 3DS shop and the DSi shop, and you had to download. You can download stuff you already purchased, but you can't download anything new. Keep in mind, they were the first one who did that, so it's like we're already been getting into that point. And then PlayStation was just straight up like, we aren't doing disc anymore, which I think it broke the illusion of choice that Nintendo just kind of was like, here's the game key card. It's basically a digital download, kind of. It's physical though still, so you can touch it, you still can exchange it, but you still need our systems to like fully utilize it at some point. You need to download the game onto your stuff at some point. But you know, the PlayStation disc, I know as much people were like, oh, the PlayStation disc are like, they're just keys. But they are kind of just keys in some ways. Like, they do have the game on it, but they do, normally the game comes with like not fully bugged out, not fully, you know, have all the content on it, or it's missing like something, a game breaking glitch at some point, or it has some like issue with it, you know, that only the internet can fix. There's a lot of games like that. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 like that, kinda, on a PS4. So it's like, how much did we really like own the games in the first place? So I feel like I understand why people are really upset, but I also feel like it's not too late. But you know, the system, it's, you know, with PS5 and sometimes I think PS4 can do this too, and the Switch can do this. They can you know, the system itself, sometimes you gotta verify the game through the internet, and the system itself can reject the card. I think with PS, for sure with Switch, you have to have a connected internet so it can verify that the game's supposed to be out. so you can't have people doing the thing where, unless they're gonna rip the game out of the cart for the games that are on the cart, you know, you can't have them all like leak early like it used to as much. That's why you don't see gaming leaks as much as you used to. It's just one of those things. It's crazy how like it's crazy how I feel like I think a lot of people just started to realize some of this already, you know, and I think that's the biggest problem with it, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like it's a rough thing. It's a rough thing, you know. I don't like it. I accepted this a little while ago. If I'm going to continue to play anything new, I'm going to have to accept that game key, you know, that it's going to be all digital at some point. Now, will I be invested in it like I was before, bro? I'm invested in gacha games, bro. I prefer, I'm like, I don't need a double dose of that, I'm probably going to, if things get too rough over time, I'm probably going to start like just buying what I like on these systems, and then I'll call it a day. Like, oh, new Persona game comes out on there, I'll get the Persona game, whatever. Oh, the new Final Fantasy game coming out, I'll get Final Fantasy. But, you know, I'm not going to be experimenting as much as I usually do. I have so many games I need to play, so many games I need to back up on. And then also, there's no reason to, like, stress yourself out if they don't care about the art of the game outside of a few releases that I care about. What would I care about? I'm not going to give up on it, though. I'll still probably get a PS6 at some point if something good comes out for it. But I'm also not going to be like, you know, I'm not going to buy 300 games on there or like always keep up with my PS Plus and stuff like that, you know. I'm not taking the same route as everyone else when it's going to like, I fuck Sony forever. It's more of like, fuck you if you say fuck me about about quality, you know. And with a quality of life, and I don't know, you know, Xbox. And when I talk about Sony, Xbox is not far behind them. Fucking, they when the other one shits, the other one shits at the same time as they do, and they eat at the same time. So you know, and I feel like I don't like childish answers to this either. Protesting is great. When people are like, I'm just gonna pirate, bro. How do you pirate? I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. How the fuck do you pirate current gen games if there's no emulator without running your and maybe you can, but maybe at the cost of like your PC like running at maximum capacity or something. That's all I can think of. Like your PC, maybe like if you can run a game at like the most bootleg settings where it's running your system down to the ground, but not everybody can do that. Everyone's like, I'm just gonna pirate. I don't understand what that means. What does that mean? Because my understanding growing up was that you need to emulate it for easy pirate. If you're gonna pirate or like emulate, you need an emulator, and there's no good PS5 emulator as far as I know, or Xbox. It's a Series S, sorry, the name for Xbox sucks. Or Switch 2 emulator. So what are they gonna do? Just burn the game onto their, if you can at all play it, just gonna burn the whole everything unoptimized into your computer, I guess? That's what people can do, maybe? I don't know, I'm not that techie. But that's like, you know, this is all the silly stuff. It's all the silly stuff mixed in with, it's true that they're fucking up the shit, bro. They're really fucking up the shit. But it's just, I don't know. I'm one of those people. You know, I'm here for the experience. And if the experience starts sucking one day, there's so many different nerdy things to get into. And I'm not just talking about trading cards. I'm not just talking about anime stuff. There's so many different things. You know, if I was born in a different era, I'll still be doing nerdy stuff. I'll be reading books. I would be a nerd in every era I'm alive in. Some type of nerd. You know? And that's just how I kind of roll. I'm trying to see something's in here, but yeah, it sucks that we're going this way, and I feel like people are justifiably angry. I feel like they're justifiably angry, and I feel their pain at the same time. I just think it's one of those things where if you want to continue gaming, they're going to do it at some point. If it's not 2028, they're going to push it back to 2030. If it's not 2030, it's 2035. They're going to push this into reality because it's cost saving, you know? The investors want it. It's cost saving for them. And trust me, as I work for a company, you talk money, you talk about cutting out a process and third sellers and people trading games, even if it sounds fucked up, unless the government gets involved, which, at least in America, this government ain't getting involved with shit. You know, it is what it is. You mean, you saw the saving games, I forgot, it was Stop Killing Games initiative. It barely passed. It was barely going to pass, and they still didn't want to do that, you know. This shit's serious, you know, when it comes to, like, art. And you gotta accept, I think at some point you do gotta accept that, like, things are going to change at some point. Now, at one point, what point do you want that to be? Up to you. You know? it's all fucked. It's all fucked. I'm not saying we should, like, not be like upset about it or protest it. I'm just saying at some point it is going to be what it's going to be. And I think the sooner people kind of accept at least that part of it, the easier it's going to be to accept either if they keep it or not.
Another mess to clean up?
And it really sucks because all those kids and stuff that like, really like need all those kids that really need like that need to borrow games or hand me down games, or me trying to show my kids games, man, that's gonna fucking blow, man. You know, you want to show your kids games, you want to show them, just like how my dad showed me Sonic 1. That got Sonic 1, 2, and 3. That's how I got into gaming. And it sucks that we're not going to have that for some of these games. Maybe like if I have kids like in the next like 5 years, yeah, but like I can't be like a grandpa and then like the kids can see it. And that's the one thing that sucks about kids stuff too, is like, how about the kids like Gen, I guess it's beta after alpha, I think. Like, how are they going to like, you know, their stuff is fleeting. All their stuff is fleeting. You know, and I know Japanese culture, sometimes that's what they do with their stuff. That's because they have so much of it. But like, imagine like you have stuff that you liked when you were younger and you have no evidence that it even existed. Like, imagine if like people didn't know He-Man existed. They were like, oh, He-Man was this really blip of time, you know, like, a point in time where these Hanna-Barbera cartoons were out and it's really goofy, crazy stuff happening. And you're like, but I really can't show you. And your kids are like, oh yeah, Grandpa, that's probably some weird stuff that you like when you're growing up, right? No, that sucks. That sucks, bro. That sucks. It's like one of those things where it's like, it sucks, but it's something that's going to happen at some point. We can push it back a little bit, I believe, and I think that'd be great. But I think that next console generation might be physical, bro. I think at least for this next generation, it might still be physical. It might be one of those things where like vinyls, where we have like 10 to 20 years, where it's like, it goes all digital and then everyone figures out it really sucks, and then we have vinyls and CDs come back. But it'll be like a novelty thing. I don't know. It's a little hard to say with video games because it's more hard. Video games aren't. Well, there are like little machines that play video games, so maybe there is going to be one day where the people are like, I made these games into disc. That's probably what's going to happen. People are going to be like, I made these games into like little disc. Like, I took whatever the new Persona 7 that's digital and I made it into a disc, like a limited run games kind of thing. Hopefully not limited run games themselves because they suck. And then I made a system that could run the CD and I licensed it out. And now you can, you know, use the CD on here and it's super novelty. That suck, like how the vinyl records are. But God, that suck. It's all sucky. It all sucks. But I also believe it's one of those things where I think we're going to have to make peace with it at some point. And it's just that Sony ripped the Band-Aid off. So I'm very reasonable. And I know my take is probably not that popular. So, I don't know. It just is what it is, man. This is what it is. If you want to keep on buying, if it's up to you. It's like, if you need to protest, you protest. If you need to keep on buying new games and you like the new games, keep on buying the new games. But I feel like it's an inevitability. I am inevitable, as Thanos does. So hopefully I don't get flamed too much, because I'm probably going to make this into a clip or something, but I can kind of yap about this forever, you know. But still, fuck them. But I'm curious where this is all going to go. I'm curious what Sony's going to do. I don't know. Crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's so fucking crazy.
What are you search for? Seen this before like nothing that you. Your sicky imagination, pure illusion escaping from the hole without a feeling.